You're not going to believe what I did with some old picture frames, and I came up with some completely different ways to upcycle them. And while thrifting, I even found some picture frames that turned out to be worth some money. So you won't want to miss those. Stick with me, because by the end of the video, you're never going to look at thrifted frames the same way again. Let's get started. This is just a really cheap dollar store frame, but we're going to turn it into something that's really practical. We're going to take out our print of the animal. We don't need that. Oh, this is kind of neat. It's an actual, somebody's actually put this in. It's got a little quote on the back. Always check the picture frames when you're taking them apart, because sometimes you're going to find, I thought this was just going to be the stock photo from the dollar store, but it's not. I might keep this. And then I got a piece of scrapbooking paper. You want something light, not too dark. We're just going to cut it out, 8 by 10, cut off the extra. Put it back in the frame. We don't need this piece of paper. We're going to put it back in the frame. And the piece of cardboard. Put it back together. And then we're going to get a dry erase marker. I have one here. You can pick these up at the dollar store or your stationery store. And you can write on your frame, groceries. And you can write down what you want. Milk, eggs, bread. And then if you have a little cloth, let me get a cloth. Just wipe it off and you can change it. Maybe you need, don't forget meeting at 10. We all know I'm going to forget about my meeting at 10. Rub it all off, and you can use the back on it, or let's use maybe the double-sided adhesive tape, or you can put some magnets on it and put it on your fridge. Great way to upcycle some thrift store frames. I just had a clever idea when I was just about to wrap up this dry erase board. I remembered that I picked up an old Scrabble game. It's missing all kinds of pieces, but I always pick them up because I craft with the little wooden letters. You'll see another project soon where I use these, but I got thinking, I have seen, maybe on Pinterest where I found the inspiration, the Scrabble tile holders. Let's put some hot glue on the back. Stick it to the bottom of the frame, making sure it's centered. And we've created a spot to hold the dry erase marker. You can paint this all the same color. You can take the glass out and paint the frame in this Scrabble tile holder, but I thought that was clever. And now we're not going to lose our dry erase marker. Thrift stores are always so full of so many sizes of different frames. So I always keep an eye out for the smaller ones because this is a really pretty upcycle. I went in and I printed off one of my favorite photos of my 2 grandkids from not that long ago. And we're just gonna cut it out. I just did this on my inkjet printer on some photo paper. We're going to take the back off. We're going to remove this part here. We don't need that. And you should be able to just kind of wiggle it back and forth and it will pull off. We don't want to rip it, so we just want to, oh my goodness, why does this, these rip off so easy when you don't want them to. There we go. And when you want them to, they they take their sweet time pulling off. So there we go. We got them off. We're going to put our beautiful little picture in our frame. I didn't grab any tape. 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, we're just gonna use a little bit of packing tape. Tape that in the frame. Make sure it stays exactly where we want it. And I love these frames to put on the fridge because you can always change out the photos with different seasons and when you have another one that you love. Then we're just gonna stick everything back. And here is the fun part, the special part. Get some magnets. I grabbed these off of Amazon. I always have some laying around. These have a sticky back, so you can just stick them right on the back of the frame. I like to use more than one because we don't want this falling off. We're gonna put one in each corner. Take it, stick it up on your fridge, and you have a beautiful photo to display. If you've been following my channel for a while, you might have seen this DIY with picture frames before. I always like to look for the 4x6 picture frames because what you can do is you can take off the back and the glass. I always save these for another project just in case I need them. We're gonna pull out the little metal pieces with a pair of pliers. These come out really easy. Now you want to grab some double-sided adhesive tape. Always keep this in my stash. I'll put the link to this down below in the description. It's really handy because you can stick it onto a surface and remove it when you want to, and it really sticks well. So we're going to take 4 pieces, stick them on each side, and these have some sticky tape on the top that you just peel off. This is really renter friendly too, so you can, when you're done with it, you can peel it off and it's not going to stick to your wall or leave any damage. It does prove sometimes though to be kind of tricky to take off that little bit of sticky tape, but there we go. This one's gonna come off easy. Okay, we're gonna take these other 2 off and then I'm gonna head to a light switch and check out how cool this is. I was on the hunt for a smaller frame that was nice and sturdy. And when I found this one, I knew it was going to be perfect for this project. We are going to remove the back of it. Take out the glass. We don't need the glass. We'll save it for another project. We're going to rip out. There we go. Okay, we have the base for our pincushion. I've got a piece of old tablecloth that I had left over from another project, and I've got some batten. We're going to put it in the middle of this, and I have a needle and thread. I'm not a seamstress by any means, so bear with me when you watch me sew this because it's probably not going to be perfect. We want to make sure that we have that fabric kind of centered in that frame where we want it, and I think I can trim this down a little bit. We don't need quite this much fabric. And I'm just going to gather this up with the needle and thread. Just do a loose stitch all the way around just to kind of hold everything in place. You could maybe just hot glue everything together, but I think a stitch helps keep that cotton batten together. I've got it all stitched all the way around. We're gonna pack it right full. We want it nice and firm. And then we're just gonna tie it off. We don't want to close it completely, but just so we can keep that in there. Do a double knot. One more. Okay, we kind of have it held together now. We're going to put it in the frame, fill it up right into the corners. So it's nice and full. So it's going to hold our pins and... Okay, we tackled with this. I got it put into the frame, squished it all out. We have it nice and firm. And then I pulled the tabs over on the back. I cut a piece of cardboard so we can now hot glue this on the back, make it nice and neat and tidy. We got a cute little spot to keep our pins and needles in a picture frame. Upcycle. Oh, hot glue guns are my enemy. You know those little rubber things? I need to get some of those. I had some and I lost some. And now every time I use my glue gun, I burn my fingers. What a fun upcycle. Another great way to upcycle some thrift store frames is to do some custom mats. If you have a mat that's just kind of a funky color and it doesn't really match your decor, head to the thrift store, buy a little piece of fabric that you think is going to look nice in your home. And I have some spray adhesive. You can just spray your mat, put on quite a bit, and then lay your fabric on top. Cut around the edges. I like to use a spray adhesive on top because it makes it nice and smooth. But on the back, you can see I've cut a hole and I've kind of made some slits. On the back, you can use some hot glue. Fold it over. Try not to burn your fingers. I'm really good at that. And work your way around the frame. You can see how the possibilities of all the different fabrics that you could do to fix up mats for your frame. And if you grab them at the dollar store, you can get some really beautiful vintage fabrics. Give it a try. Okay, I'm gonna work away at this. I'll be back when it's all done. Now we have a beautiful custom mat with some vintage fabric. Do you think I can find the frame that this came out of? Nope, but I wanted to show you guys how you could put this together. And if I had a frame, I would put it in and I would put a picture in it. I'll set it aside. It'll show up soon somewhere. I found this cute little frame at the thrift store. Not really my style. I'm gonna take it apart. We're gonna remove all the little nails, take the print out. And I have a clever way to store some of your jewelry with a thrift store frame. So let me work away at this so you don't have to watch me struggle taking all these nails out, and we'll be back. I got everything taken apart and we have a beautiful wooden frame now. I have some of this mesh. It's like for putting around shrubs or your garden to protect from animals, rabbits, squirrels, that kind of thing. I picked this up on Amazon. I think I've even seen it at the dollar store. I like that it's plastic. I have seen this project done with the metal, but I like the plastic better and it's easier to work with. So we're just gonna cut a piece down to size to fit the back of the frame. I'll put the link to this product on Amazon in the description box. think I still have to take a little bit more off. So I'm going to trim this up. And then we're going to get, let's see, I think this is going to fit now. Put it right in the back. Now, if I'm going to use a staple gun, if you don't have a staple gun, you can use your hot glue gun. I might revert back to the hot glue gun. We'll see how this works. This should work pretty good though. I just have the staple gun. Yep, works perfect. And then just staple it in place. And I'm gonna go around the whole frame. I'll be back when I have it all done. And we have it all stapled together, and I actually don't mind the color. I like the gold and the white and the black. If you have a frame that's not complementing the mesh, you could always spray paint the whole thing, make it all uniform. But this is going to be a great spot to hang jewelry and earrings from and keep them nice and tidy. My granddaughter is 2.5 and she's just starting to do some arts and crafts, and I wanted a place to display them really nice and change them up as we make new craft projects. So this is just a dollar store frame that I picked up at the thrift store. I think it was 25 cents. We're going to remove the back, and we colored this beautiful picture together the other day, making sure that she wasn't eating the crayons at the same time as she was drawing them. But I'm just gonna pick a spot. We're gonna trim it out and we're gonna add it in the frame. Of course, if you've got littles that are a bit older and making pictures that are an 8x10, then you can just grab an 8x10 frame and frame them up and switch them out. We're gonna put this in the frame, add the backing back in. But what I'm going to do as a little bit of a twist, I can either, again, we can take the back off of this and we can add some magnets if we want to put them on the fridge, or we can do some adhesive tape if we want to put it on the wall. Probably the adhesive tape might not be as good of an idea because we want to be able to take the back off and on and replace that. So let's not do that. Let's just do the magnets or the back to display it. But I picked up this old Scrabble tile game. Always when I do, I tuck them away because they're really great to craft with. But I found all the letters of her name in the tiles, and I'm just going to put it across the top so we know that it's her project. And we're going to find the center. I think I'll do it this way. We'll kind of do it from the center out so we have it even. And just hot glue these on. Every thrift store that I ever go in always has an old Scrabble tile game there that you can use for a project like this. We'll see how even I got this. I think we did pretty good. And the K for Carmen. And we are ready to display this. I think I'm gonna put magnets on the back of this and put it on my fridge. Don't always have to have pictures in them. I found this beautiful ornate frame, and I have an old dictionary that I found quite a while ago at the thrift store, and I don't know what it is about these old books, but I just love the text in them and the look of them, and I love to frame them. So I'm going to take one of these pages. This dictionary has lost all kinds of pages. I've been adding it in my junk journal, but I'm going to take one of these pages and I'm just going to frame it, and they look beautiful in a frame. We're just going to cut it down to size I'll be back as soon as I get it cut out. Okay, we are back. We're just gonna put our print from our page. Oh my goodness, I didn't do a very good job cutting this out. What the heck did I do here? Let's just do a little bit more. There we go. We're just going to frame it up, put it in our decor, and it's gorgeous. You can also look for old magazines or pages out of kids' books, or what about even sewing patterns? So many possibilities with a little DIY like this, but I think it's just beautiful having that framed picture from the dictionary. Do you have a bunch of candles that you've put together in a vignette and you want to display them, but you're kind of worried about the wax maybe dripping on your table? This is a really great way to keep all these candles contained on the glass and make it beautiful. So I just picked up this frame. We're going to remove the backing. Take the print out. We'll leave the glass in. And I picked out this beautiful piece of scrapbooking paper. We're going to cut it the same size as the backing. While you're watching this video, I bet you have your head swirling on all the different ways that you can upcycle these picture frames into different ways other than just using them for pictures. I know when I was putting all these together, when I went to the thrift store, I was so overwhelmed because there were so many beautiful picture frames to choose from, and always a really great selection. Okay, we're going to put that in there. We're going to put the back on. We'll save this maybe for another project, and I'll be back when I have this all put together. Now, once I put this all together, I tested a little corner off camera with some gold rub and buff, and that's exactly what this frame needs. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of the rub and buff. You don't need very much, it goes a long way on the frame. I think it's just gonna pull together that scrapbooking paper that we put in there. I just have a brush. We just brush it on. If you've never used rub and buff, it is an amazing product. So fun to use. I even have a DIY on how to make your own DIY rub and buff if you can't get any at a craft store. I'll put the QR code right here to that video and you can watch that afterwards and make your own. But this is really blending in really nice with that scrapbooking paper. So I'm just gonna add the rub and buff all over this frame, and then I'm gonna display it with some candles and show you how beautiful it is. I was so excited when I found this. Some of these thrift store picture frames don't need to have anything done to it, and this is it. This is a really beautiful quote for a guest bedroom, I think. It has a little bit of water damage. I think that gives it character. Not gonna change anything. Just going to hang it up and enjoy it in our guest bedroom. frame, but I wasn't really fussy on the bird print. I don't have a lot of bird theme in my home. But the reason that I picked it up was because I found these calendar sheets. They're big, they're huge. They were probably like this out of a big calendar from 1971. And I thought, oh, these would be so fantastic to frame. There's quite a few different pictures. And this was just in a bin in the book section at my thrift store, and I was just rooting through it, and I found these pieces, and I'm like, oh, this has to come home with me. And I also got thinking, what if your birthday was October 1971? Wouldn't that be really cool to kind of frame this right here? But what we're going to use today is this print here. I think it's really beautiful. I'm going to swap it out from the bird one. And I think it's going to match my decor much better. It's an easy way of upcycling picture frames and making them fit your decor when they don't actually. And even the matte color is perfect. So I'm going to disassemble this, put this in, and we'll be back. There, that looks much better. It's way better for my decor here in my home. I'll save this. I'll maybe put it in one of my junk journals or a mixed media project. But let's go and hang this. This was an amazing find. I actually didn't even know what it was, but I knew I had to have it and I needed to bring it home. They had it $29.99. I actually was able to get it for $20. I rushed home and went to ChatGPT and I took some pictures, and this is what I found out. If you've never used ChatGPT or Google search when you're out thrifting, make sure you do, because you don't want to be taking something that's valuable and upcycling it and changing it and destroying how much it could be worth. So this is what I found out about this piece. Hang tight. It looks like a late 1800s to early 1900s chromolithograph, a color print produced using multiple lithographic stones. So this would be the print inside. I have no idea what that even is. I'm going to do more research. If I have any experts here, head down to the comments and let everybody know what a lithographic stone is and how they used to make prints. So the subject is a sentimental or Victorian genre scene. These prints were widely produced and very popular for parlors or bedrooms in the Victorian and Edwardian periods. And the frame, it says, is also very distinct. It is a gesso over wood ornate frame. There is a little bit of damage on the frame. We're not going to touch it though, because it is a original authentic frame. Many of these frames were finished in gold paint or gilding, just like this one. So let's get to the value. Pieces like this tend to have more of a decorative value than a fine art value. The print alone is worth $15 to $40, but with the original ornate frame, it's worth anywhere from $50 to $150. And these are collectible. People are looking for them. And then as I got looking, I wanted to know, what is a gesso frame? This is what they called it. A gesso frame is one of those terms you'll hear a lot with antiques, especially Victorian-era pieces. Here's what it is. Gesso is a mixture of plaster, chalk, and glue, which we know because we use that in our crafting projects. It's applied over the wood base to create a smooth, carvable, or moldable surface. And once hardened, the artist can carve or mold intricate designs onto the frame. Once everything has all dried, they usually gilded with a gold leaf or painted with a gold paint or bronze powders. So this is what I found at the thrift store for $20. Some really neat background that I found on ChatGPT. We're not changing anything, this is gonna get hung in a special place in my home, and I'm always gonna remember the story of finding out what it was. This, I don't even know how to start with this. It's got a lot of damage in the corners. Not even gonna try to touch it. I was just drawn to the frame because it's absolutely gorgeous. It's so ornate. I picked it up for $5. I don't think where I bought it at the thrift store, they even knew anything about it. But I just knew for $5, whatever. I can use the frame, I can paint it, I can fix it up. It's a great deal. It is coming apart a little bit. It does need some TLC, but I came home, I took a picture of it, I threw it up in ChatGPT. So cool. Let's head to ChatGPT and I'm going to explain what this actually is. This is a Victorian memorial mourning print from the late 1800s to the very early 1900s. These were often called memorial lithographs or mourning prints, and they were sold in frames like this for display in parlors. They were sometimes personalized with the name of the deceased in one of the center panels. So that's why this is cut out right here. It was probably where they would put a card for the name of the person that had passed away. And sometimes they just would have put it on a piece of paper and just handwritten their name and their date and the death. So this is valued at anywhere between $100 to $200, depending on the condition, the size, and the frame. So paying $5 for this was a really great deal. What am I gonna do with it? I don't know. What do you think I should do with it? Should I take this picture out or should I keep it all contact together? I'm really torn. So let me know down in the comments what you would do if you found a piece like this and how you would restore it and put it in your home. I love saving all of my bits and pieces of scrap paper and turning it into homemade paper. And this is a great way to upcycle some frames, is to make your own frame and decal for homemade paper. A lot of times, if you can't find two matching ones at the thrift store, you can always grab two at the dollar store, and you can create beautiful handmade paper with two frames. I have a full tutorial on how to make this and how to make your own homemade paper. I'll put the QR code right here and you can check that out if that's something that you're interested in, and try your hand at making some homemade paper with some thrifted frames. These types of picture frames are a dime a dozen at the thrift store. It's almost like press board in the middle, but I have a really creative way that we can upcycle this and not use it as a picture frame. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the wire, remove the backing, take the print out, kind of deconstruct it. I'll be back when I have that all done. Now that we have it all taken apart, I have this press board here, and we're going to put on some peel and stick wallpaper. This was left over from a project that I did not that long ago, and I'm gonna peel and stick it along the frame here. I love peel and stick wallpaper. I love wallpaper in general. I have a lot that I've been adding into my home lately. It just makes it feel warm and cozy. Okay, let's just lay this down on top of it. I'm not going to worry about being efficient with it because this is all that I have left. So whatever I don't use, it's not going to be really great for any other project. There we go. And then I'm going to take my knife and we're going to, after I've stuck it to the table, we're going to just cut off the extra. I'll be back when I have it all cut off and cleaned up. Now we're going to flip the frame over, put this in, and I'll put all of the little nails back in and secure it into the frame really well. Here we go. Wow, this already looks fantastic. Looks so much better than it did before. I actually did a project like this in my grandkids' baby nursery, and I'll see if I can find the footage because it was really great. I used the wallpaper as an accent wall on one side, and then I took a canvas like this and I added the wallpaper and then hung it on the wall opposite of it, and it turned out fantastic. Great way to use up wallpaper. But we're not going to stop there. I have a couple handles. We are going to add them on the end of the picture frame and screw these in, and we're going to create a beautiful serving tray. You ever put something down and then you're not quite sure where you put it, and then you can't find it, and then it's like exactly where you just put it? The screws that came with the little handles were a bit too long, so I went into my stash and I got something shorter. The only thing is they are silver, but I think I can just dab them with a little bit of rub and buff, and they'll blend right in. So we're just gonna attach these handles. I made sure to center them really well. We'll just screw these in, add a little rub and buff, and our thrifted picture frame, upcycled into a serving tray, is ready to use. This thrift store frame has a real rustic feel, so I am going to turn it into a propagation station. The first thing that we want to do is we want to clean that glass really well. I've got some rubbing alcohol. I'm going to clean it really well, and we're also have this little spice jar, and I'm going to clean it really well. I'm going to get all the grease and grime off of it, because we are going to use some E6000, and I have a love-hate. If you've watched my videos, I love E6000. It works fantastic, but trying to get it out of the tube always proves to be a bit of a struggle. But I got this toothpaste winder key, and it actually works really well, and you can push your E6000 up. Now before we do that, I want to take this out. I cut out a piece of scrapbooking paper. We're gonna put it in. I might have cut it a bit too big, so we'll take some off, slide it in there. There we go. Slide this back in, tuck the paper underneath. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Get in there. There we go. Push it up. We have a beautiful background. Okay, that's really good and squeaky clean. We're going to take our E6000. We're going to apply, oh, it's already coming out on me. I got all kinds. Apply it on the back of that plastic spice jar, and then place it so it's almost at the bottom. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside and let it dry until tomorrow. We'll be back and I'll show you how I'm gonna finish it. cute frames. They're big, they're bulky, they have a lot of character, and they have some, I wish I could remember what the type of craft it is on the inside. It's when you layer up papers, it almost gives like a 3D look. I keep wanting to saying paper toll, but I don't know if that's what the actual name of it is. I can't remember. I used to do it a long time ago. And I was gonna put some of my own prints in here. And the more I got looking at them, I'm like, I can't do it. Somebody has spent so much time creating these, put so much love into them. The little intricate pieces in these are unbelievable. I can't do it. I have to leave them the way that they are. I might maybe put them on a wall, do like a gallery style or something, but I can't do it. I can't change it. And sometimes we find things like that at the thrift store that they're just made to stay the way that they are. We don't have to upcycle them. We can just enjoy somebody else's hard work and talent that they've put into a project. So that's what we're gonna do. And I'll show you where I'm gonna put it in my house. Old picture frames had so many possibilities. I hope you found some ideas here and you're excited to try them in your own home. Let me know in the comment which was your favorite project, and if you've ever upcycled frames before, I'd love to hear your ideas too. And if you're ready for even more inspiration, click right here to watch my video where I upcycled thrift store china 15 different ways. You won't believe what I did with those pieces, so we will see you over there. Take care.